Hello guys, this is Gnurgard and today I wanted to bring you an extra video for combos, this time with Vayu, which I just included in my deck instead of the combo of Zonda and Kunai. While these cards are very flexible and the Zonda also gives you an extra bounce on your Disrupt, by switching to Vayu you reduce the amount of bricks in your decks by 1. You obviously have to play an extra card in your extra deck, which would be the Sohaya, but the added consistency is definitely worth it. Also, you can improve some of your combo lines with Vayu, which I'll show you in this video. What I'll also show in this video is a ruling question that came up from one of the viewers named, his name was King Grimjal. They mentioned the protection effect of Black Feather Whirlwind and ask if it actually protects multiple monsters. So before we get into that, note that 88% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you want to help this channel out, if you want to see more content, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, let's get into the ruling question real quick. So the viewer asked if this card can actually be able to protect multiple monsters. So I said yes, obviously it says monster bracket S, so it can protect multiple. Now they told me that was not the case, and I looked up the official database, and in fact this card doesn't say monsters. So I looked into it a bit to see comparable cards, and there is no other card that is worded like this, where card effect destruction protects just one monster. So it's only there's only cases where they have battle protection and it says a monster, because obviously only one monster is currently battling. Now, I did some research and asked the head judge, and they said that it is a translation error. They looked at the Japanese version, and the Japanese version, in fact, does say protects multiple monsters. Also, if you play any simulator like Edo Pro, you will also have it protect multiple monsters. So the line I showed you with 2 assault dragons, where one nukes the field and the other you can take a token off to protect it via the Feather Wound, that will work in those simulators. Now, if you're at a tournament, best idea is still to ask the head judge of that tournament how they would rule it, but with the Japanese translation, it says that it protects multiple monsters, so note that with this card. All right. Now we go to the Vayu combos. So what Vayu does is he basically replaces the Zonda as your secondary mill target next to Zephyros, and there are 2 combos that Vayu improves. So let's start off with the 1-card combo with Suthri, which is greatly improved by adding Vayu. So you normal summon the Suthri and you use the effect, as always, to get the Vata. You special the Vata, and you use the effect to send to the grave your Zephyros, and your Chinook. This is important that you send the Chinook, we'll use it later. So we send this to the graveyard to get back our Blackwing Dragon. Now you use the effect of Suthri to tribute the Blackwing Dragon and get a token, and also take 700 damage. Now you use the effect of Zephyros to bounce the Suthri back to your hand and special summon the Zephyros. Then you have 4 plus 2, and you can synchro summon these for your Borea, which on summon will then send your Vayu, so this will become level 1. Now, Vayu's effect you can activate in the grave to banish Vayu and the Zephyros that you used to synchro summon from the grave into Sohaya. Now you have level 1 plus level 5, which you can then use to go into Vata, burning your opponent for 800 and giving an extra normal summon. You will then use the extra normal summon for Suthri, which can then search again for your Shamal. You can then use the Shamal effect, discard, and get your Black Feather Whirlwind out of your deck. Then you can synchro from your graveyard these 2 monsters to make your Assault Dragon. that will trigger the Feather Whirlwind and the Shamal. Now, what's important here is that you have to use Shamal as chain link 1 and Feather Whirlwind as chain link 2, because Shamal will banish himself for cost to target your Chinook, and the Black Feather Whirlwind will then target the Shamal. If you did it the other way around, what would happen is you would target the Shamal in your grave with the Black Feather Whirlwind, then you would use the Shamal effect to banish and target the Chinook. But now, since the Shamal is no longer in the original position, it will not be special summoned by the Feather Whirlwind. So keep that in mind and use Shamal first to target your Chinook, and then the Feather Wind to target your Shamal. Now the chain will resolve, you get back your Shamal, and the Shamal will add you back the Chinook. Now you can synchro summon. You have a choice here. Either you synchro summon, what I like to do is just go 4+4 for your Draco Berserker of the Tinny, which is another disrupt. It's a big monster, removes the body. Or depending on the matchup, what you can also do is you can synchro summon 6+4 to go into full armor monster, depending on whether they can actually out that card efficiently. Now let's go to my original combo where I have the Draco Berserker. You will now end up on the Assault Dragon plus protection. You will end up on the Draco Berserker effect to banish, and you have the Chinook in hand, which you can then also use in your opponent's turn to discard it, and a Blackwing Synchro from your extra deck. Let's just use the Raikiri here to negate a monster on your opponent's side of the field. So just with this one card combo, you have like one disrupt, the burn damage, some follow-up because you have the Shamal in grave again, and the Black Feather Whirlwind on the field. So if you can do a synchro play next turn, you have good follow-up, and you have the negate with Chinook. So this is how Vayu greatly improves your turn 1 combo with just Suthri. Now, speaking of Suthri, one thing that always annoyed me was I showed you the Suthri Whirlwind combo, but if you don't have the Whirlwind but just have Suthri and like Vata or Shamal, doesn't matter, one of them, the combo wasn't as good. But now with Vayu, it's actually much stronger. Let me show you how. So let's just say you start with Shamal and Suthri. So you can normal summon the Suthri, use the effect, add the Vata or the Shamal, depending on what you need. Then you can discard Shamal to get the Feather Whirlwind, and then you special Vata, and this part should be known to you. You can go into a thumb here, and then trigger both Shamal and the Feather Whirlwind. Feather Whirlwind in this case targets your Vata, so you can use all of the chain links however you want it to. The Shamal will get you the Suthri back, and the Feather Whirlwind will get you the Vata back. Now you have another normal summon. You can use it on Suthri. This is your 5th summon. Again, if they nib you here, you still end up with the Surge of Suthri, which would be your Twin Shadow. Now you can use the Suthri effect to tribute the Nothung and get a token. Note that we don't use the Vata effect yet, because this will lock you into darks, and you don't want to be locked into darks just yet. Because what you do now is you use the Suthri level 4 plus the token level 2 to go into Borea, which will then send your Vayu. Now we have a level 1 tuner on field, and we have the Vayu in the grave, which we can then banish alongside the Nothung to get a level 7 Blackwing out of our deck, in this case Raikiri. So now you have 7 plus 1, and you can synchro these two for Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So now you have the monster negate for the opponent's turn, and you still have the Vata effect, so now we can start using that. And you will obviously send the Zephyros plus the Chinook to go into your Blackwing Dragon. Now you can use the Zephyros effect to bounce your Whirlwind, get the Zephyros back, play the Whirlwind again to reset it, And now you use the Blackwing Dragon on the field plus the Boreal Storm in your grave to make your Assault Dragon. Now, keep in mind, if you have like a Black Whirlwind or any extender, you can obviously use the extender, for example, the Orochi, to synchro this off before you banish it for the synchro summon, because this can also be used from the grave. But in this case, we don't have a tuner because we only started with 2 cards, so we just banish it from the field. This will then trigger the Black Feather Whirlwind again, which can then get you back your Shamal. And then you can synchro these 2 off for the Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, and you set your trap card. Now, you have a monster negate, you have a banish, you have the burn damage plus the nuke. In this case, if you nuke, the Crystalwing would be destroyed, so keep that in mind. And you have the Twin Shadow. Now, for the Twin Shadow part, you actually want to shuffle back your Raikiri, because Raikiri is very strong on the follow-up play, and you want to shuffle back then the Vayu, because this is the level 1 tuner that we need alongside it. So we use those 2 to make our Silverwind, and that will trigger the Black Feather Whirlwind and the Shamal in your grave. So the Shamal will banish himself to add back Suthri. And the Black Feather Whirlwind, in this case, depending on what you need, sometimes you want the extra body, sometimes you can even, like, if you burn the opponent enough, you can special summon back Nothung and burn for another 800, because Nothung reads if this card is special summon, inflict 800 damage. So sometimes if you want that extra 800 damage, you can do that, but most of the time you will just go and special summon back your Chinook. So after the double pop, you still have the Chinook, which you can then send also from the field, because you control the dark monster Dark Synchro. This is a quick effect. And you can send the Sohaya, which you won't use because you used your Vayu elsewhere, to then negate a monster from your opponent and make it lose 700. So that would be the extended combo with Suthri plus any of your good cards. Now, one thing I wanted to show you last time, but I forgot, was the follow-up play. So let's see, say your board is cleared. What you can actually do is, even if your top deck is a brick, let's say you top deck another Vayu, right? It's a normal summon, you already have the Suthri. You can normal summon the Suthri, and actually you need, this was the follow-up play if you had the Zonda combo, but what you can do is just, if you had an extender with it, you can search the trap, and with the trap you can shuffle back, say, a do you have a level 2, a level 5? Yeah, we have a level 5 in the grave that we just sent, and we have the level 2 tuner. So with these 2, we can synchro off into Raikiri. And now with the Raikiri and these 2, we can pop 2 cards. Also, we have the Black Feather Whirlwind, so even if you don't top deck a tuner and you can't search the trap, you can, with the Suthri, just search another copy of Vata, special the Vata, and then do synchro plays from here. And that will trigger the Black Feather Whirlwind and special summon something back, and then you can do synchro plays from there on. That's for the follow-up. The main part is that last time I didn't mention that for the follow-up you can also just use the Twin Shadow, because you can just activate this card from hand for whatever reason. This card is so strong. But yeah, this is the Vayu combos and a small ruling update. I hope you enjoyed the video. If yes, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.